Hi there, my name is Niamh Russell and I'm a senior from Bedford High School and I hope to be considered for a part of the Holy Cross class of 2023. So the reason you're watching this video, you might be wondering that, is because I was unable to have an interview with College of the Holy Cross, but I really know the value of that face-to-face connection and putting a face to the name of an applicant. So I emailed back and forth with the admissions office and checked online and looked at different resources to see what I could do about this to make sure that my application is the best it could be. And the response was to write a personal statement, but I really did want to put my face to the name of my application, so I decided to record my personal statement, and so this is a letter to you, the admissions officer watching this video. So, to whom it may concern, my name is Niamh Russell and I'm from Bedford, New Hampshire. I am the daughter of 2 Irish immigrants and I live in Bedford with my sister and my little puppy Floyd. And growing up in a household with 2 Irish parents that were immigrants, I really learned the values of hard work, determination, and a love for exploration. And these have really shaped me into who I am today. And I absolutely adore traveling and meeting new people and exploring new places. And those are my biggest passions. And a fun fact about me, something I really enjoy doing is people watching because of this love for exploration. I just love thinking about the daily lives of the other people around me and thinking of what could be going on in their minds and what their values are and what their interests are. It's just so amazing to me to think about all the different thoughts going on in everyone's heads around me. So, a little bit about me outside of school. You can find me working my job at Murphy's Taproom and Carriage House here in Bedford. I'm a hostess there and I occasionally bus and run and do help out with functions and events. And I love my job there. I absolutely love it. I think the experience I gained there is incredible and like no other for someone, a 17-year-old girl, to be able to work in a restaurant with a bar. It's just such a unique experience and it allows me to socialize and interact with so many different kinds of people. I get to interact with the customers that walk in the door and I get to interact with the kitchen staff in the back, my managers, my employees, the servers around me, and it's just a really unique experience. And I always call my hostess stand the hub of what's going on. So it's so cool to be able to sit at that hub and experience the world of a restaurant working around me. I think it's an amazing job and I'm so blessed to have it. Another thing I'm extremely passionate about is running. I'm a long distance runner. I run for our high school's cross-country team, winter track team, and track team. And running has taught me some of the best things I have learned, which are, endurance, body endurance, but also mental endurance and perseverance and love, because the people I have gained in my life from running are like no other, and I am so beyond grateful for the girls on my running team. And I'm very privileged to be able to be one of the co-captains of our distance cross-country team, and that experience is one of the best things I've ever done. I always say the cross-country team is really like nothing else because we all work so hard and we love each other so much. So running is a huge part of my life as well, and something I do hope to continue in my career as a college student. And some other things that I partake in are extracurricular activities. I really love getting invested in different things going on outside of school, one of these being Destination Imagination. I've participated in this for about 10 years now, and it's a creative outlet for me. It's all about creativity and collaboration and solving these problems through presenting a skit or presenting a box that we made or a tower that we built that balances on something that's round. The options for creativity are truly endless, and I absolutely love that, and it's really opened my mind to thinking in different ways, which I think will definitely help me in the future in the real world. Another thing I participate in is Model UN. I really love being a part of Model UN. I'm on the executive board. I get to lead the club this year, and Model UN obviously is modeling the United Nations, and it's taught me everything I know about public presentations. It's given me a love for leadership and speaking, and also collaborating with others on serious issues rather than, not that school isn't serious, but rather than just presenting something in school, it's presenting things that the United Nations may be presenting or working on at the same time and coming up with solutions to world problems, which is fascinating to me, and I really love that. I also am able to be in a few honor societies, and I'm the president of French Club, and French is a big part of my life. I absolutely love learning the language, and I really have found a love for language in general. I would love to pursue more languages in college, hopefully at College of the Holy Cross. That's something I'm very passionate about, and I was able to travel to France and do an exchange with a family there, and that has really developed my love and my understanding of French, and I'm very grateful for that experience. So although I would consider myself an extrovert, I definitely have my moments where I'm an introvert also. I love playing the piano. I've been doing that for 10 plus years now. And piano has taught me to grow an emotional connection with music, and I really think it's very hard to find that anywhere else. When I'm really invested in a song I'm playing and I've worked so hard for it, it's such a mental workout, but at the same time, it's such a way to calm yourself and really feel the connection with music, and it has developed my love for music for sure. And I also have a big passion for my religion. I'm a Roman Catholic, and at first, when I was younger, I was just like any other kid. My parents took me to church, but now I initiate and I go to church on my own most Sundays because we're always doing different things as a family, and God is a really big motivator in my life, and also my religion is a factor in the decisions I make and how I lead my life, and I'm so grateful for that because I do not think I would be the person I am without my religion. So if I were to describe myself, sum it up in 3 words, I would say I'm passionate, I really get invested in what I'm doing in my clubs, I'm very grateful for all the things I do, and I'm a little competitive even, so when I start something I really work at it, and that's one of the qualities I love about myself. I would say I'm pretty altruistic, I love to give back and care for others. That's an important part of my morals, and I try to work for that every day. I would say an example of this is I'm able to go speak French with residents at a local assisted living, and although they have dementia and may not remember much of their past, it's amazing to see how much French we can pull out of them just each day, as they were raised in Manchester, which has a huge French-Canadian influence. And so that's really a cool interactive part of my life where I get to talk with people from a totally different generation and bring back stories and bring back French, and it's just absolutely amazing. And also my passion for God is a big part of my caring for others. I love to just service others. It makes me feel good, and I know it's good for the community and those around me as well. And finally, I would say this is the biggest word to sum me up, is unique. And not just saying like, oh yeah, I'm unique, I'm a unique applicant, but really I try to stand out and be different. And I think this is best shown in my fashion sense. You can ask my friends. I sort of go out of the ordinary with what I wear. I like to wear different colors, shapes, things that are just not typical, things that you might find at a thrift store. For instance, this is made out of stained glass. I think that different kinds of fabrics are so interesting, and pairing them together, things that maybe other people don't enjoy at all, but I think look really cool and represent me. And that's a huge part of who I am. I think your fashion is the first thing that people see about you. So we're always taught not to judge a book by its cover, but my cover is fashion because judgment is second nature. So people are going to judge us by how we look. And if people are going to judge me by how I look, I want it to represent the true me and who I really am and what I value. So I think being unique is one of my best qualities. I'm really proud of it, and I try to work for that all the time. So my strengths and weaknesses, I would say my top strengths are my leadership and my optimism. For leadership, the best example of this is I'm very privileged to be the president of our school's National Honor Society, and although some may say this is just a role that people use for their future to benefit them, I actually really love my role as president of NHS. I'm able to interact with my fellow members and lead them and make service opportunities, and I really, really enjoy doing that. And it's a time commitment, but it's something I'm very passionate about, and just like my leadership and other things. And I'm very honored to have a passion for leadership because I think it's a very important quality. And my optimism, I think this definitely is influenced by my religion, but I try to be super optimistic about and about my outlook on life in general. It's so important to look at the brighter side of things, and we are all going to face obstacles, but I truly think if it's meant to be, it'll be, so we have to just let it play out and see what happens and look at it the best way we can, because that's all you can do. You can work hard for what you control, and whatever else happens, happens. And so for my weakness, I would say my biggest weakness is organization, because I do have a lot of passion, so if I get into too many things, sometimes I get a little overwhelmed, and that's when my organization might start to go downhill. But I think I've learned to manage this with a pretty systematic approach. I try to keep a diary all the time, a journal of what I'm doing, as well as I try to take time aside just for organization, just for cleaning up what I messed up in my room, literally and figuratively. Just taking time to like reorganize and rethink about everything I'm doing and set my priorities. And on that note, thinking about the bigger picture in general, I think is extremely important. Taking a step back, not getting too overwhelmed by what's going on, and think of how lucky and blessed I am to be here. I think that is the best way to stay organized, and that's how I've learned to manage with that weakness of mine. So, all that being said, in the future, I hope to study international studies. This has come about from, as I said before, my love for French, my love for Model UN. I'm currently taking a comparative government class, and I just think it's so interesting to be able to place the different societies next to each other of the past and the present and compare them and their societies so we can understand better how our world works. And I would be so honored to study this at College of the Holy Cross. Not only are the programs at College of the Holy Cross amazing, but when I went on my tour, I just absolutely fell in love with it. I think the Jesuit side of Holy Cross is amazing. It has the values that I really uphold. They talk so much about giving back to their Worcester community, which is extremely important, and I would love to be a part of that. I would be a proud crusader. And I also think that Worcester is a really up-and-coming city. I know people in the past have said that there's nothing going on in Worcester, but there are a lot of universities in there, and after my tour I went to get lunch on Shrewsbury Street as a recommendation of a student, and it was a lot of fun. It was an extremely diverse area, and I think that Worcester has a ton to offer, and if not, Boston is right around the corner. But most importantly, the reason I love Holy Cross is because of the community feel that I found when I went there. It was like nothing else, no other school that I've toured. It's small, but people are happy and involved, and everyone is smiling, and that is why I love it. When we were on our tour, someone asked the tour guide, what's something unusual about Holy Cross? And the tour guide could not think of anything other than the fact that everyone was always smiling. And I think that's a great representation of what Holy Cross upholds and values in their Jesuit side, and it is something that I would be extremely proud to be a part of. And I think my unique side would really add to the community. I really try to promote the ideas of acceptance and love, and as I said before, everyone has their own cover, every book has its own cover, and it is going to get judged, but if we present the best cover that we have, the best part of ourselves, the best part of our true selves, I think that promotes an accepting community if we can all accept what we are proud of about ourselves. And for me, that cover at first is my fashion, but other people might have other passions, and once we learn to accept and love each other for our covers, for our passions, I think that would be an amazing thing that I could bring to the Holy Cross community, and we could foster a community of acceptance and love and appreciation for diversity, for all of our diversity. So, in conclusion, where I would like to see myself in 10 years. In 10 years, I hope to look back on my 20s, or maybe a little more than 10 years, to be able to look back on my 20s, a time where your life is totally changed, you're learning like no other time in your life, really. And I would like to be able to be proud and satisfied of what I did. I'd like to be able to say that I took risks, I participated in opportunities that maybe I was afraid to participate in, and I took advantage of what I am able to do as a young person who is experiencing the world. I hope to have studied abroad, to have worked hard in my education, and to have found another passion, more passions for the future, and be excited for what is to come, and I know I could do that with my Holy Cross education. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope it shows you a little bit more about me. Thank you so much again, and I would be so proud to be a crusader in the future. Sincerely, Niamh Russell.